Hi friends, it's Tilly and welcome to spooky season. This year I'm going to be a witch for Halloween and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm a little nervous because I only have a week to complete the costume. It's about 8:36 on Saturday, and the Saturday before Halloween is really when the parties happen, so literally I have about a week's time. And work's been really crazy. We're training for a marathon, so we're running a lot because we're about 4 or 5 weeks out from that. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully the construction crews will be kind, and they're not going to be because I can hear them right now and they woke us up at 4 a.m. Of course, they woke us up at 4 a.m. and then also we're going on when I'm filming when they haven't been working all day. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna bode well for the rest of this project. I have good feelings. So let's go ahead and talk the fabric and the design. Let's go. All right. For the design, I'm thinking both a hat and a dress. So for the hat, I've printed out the Kinpatsu's Witch's Hats patterns. It's a 3-set pattern of an oversized, a standard, and a cowboy style witch hat, which I was very intrigued about. I've really liked her cosplays, but I've never tried her patterns before, so this is going to be a fun one to kind of branch into and see how it turns out. For the dress, we're kind of winging it, but for now, let's go over the fabric. So for the base dress, I got a crushed black velvet. It's really cute, actually. It's got a crushed black velvet on one side that I don't know if you can see very well, but it's got this like beautiful maroon on the other side, which would make for a stunning cape, but unfortunately that's just like not what I'm using it for. For the main hat fabric and an accent fabric for the dress, I got this orange spandex. It's typical orange performance spandex. It's stretchy. That's going to be great for the hat because the hat pattern, you need some stretch to the fabric, and it's going to be this beautiful just orange accent fabric. It's nice and it's simple and it screams Halloween, which is what I wanted. It is this glittery orange mesh fabric. I'm gonna show this to you up close because really it's the glitter is not doing it justice. I have not washed it yet because I have honestly no idea how it's supposed to be washed, and I'm holding it up and glitter is just falling off of it. It's really ridiculous, and glitter is gonna get everywhere. Actually, also, is glitter worse than sequins? Because I worked with sequins with Evil Queen and they're still everywhere, so we're just gonna like add to the party and add a bunch of glitter to the mix. And just, I don't know which one's worse, but now I've got both. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Add some really like cute details. Other cute details include these bows. So I got 2 of these like spiderweb bows, and they are got these long tails and they're super cute. I think it'd be really fun like on the front of the dress or on the hat to really add a lot of detail. And then last but not least, I picked this up last year and just never used it, but it is a spiderweb wired ribbon. So since it's late and I got up super early and ran 20 miles today and I'm exhausted and probably not making much sense, and I've had to film this like at least 6 times because I keep not knowing what I'm saying. I'm gonna set this aside for now and work on cutting out the pattern because that seems like something that I can mentally do at the moment. So we're gonna set this aside until tomorrow morning and let's get to it. That had to be fine. Good morning. It is Sunday morning of day 2. I have the pattern that I cut out last night, as well as 4mm EVA foam. The pattern calls for 5mm, but there wasn't any at the store, so we're just gonna make do. So next, I will go ahead and get out my cutting board and my box cutter and start to cut out the pattern pieces. Here I'm transferring all the pattern pieces to the EVA foam with Sharpie and also making sure I include all the important markings and notches to know how to put it together later. From there I used a crafting knife to carefully cut out all of the pieces. I'm not great at this and was not as careful as I probably should have been, but we're covering it in fabric anyway, so we'll make it work. All right, with all the pieces cut out, I'm going to next put it together via contact cement. So since my theater days and crafting days, I prefer barge as my contact cement. I think it's a great one overall, and I went ahead and put it into a smaller squeeze bottle. This is going to allow for a more even application, an easier application, just because these edges are so tiny. The big brush is just not going to cut it. I do wish she had been a little bit more specific in her tutorial around like if any of the edges were supposed to be angled or kind of actual construction details. She covers the steps, but it's a more high level than I really would have hoped for. Hopefully this will turn out. I'm not even sure really what order to fully put it all in. Maybe I'll go relook at the pictures and see if it makes it more clear, but we're just gonna do our best and start to put this together. So we'll see. Come in. Hi. Good. I'm wrapping up for the end of day 2. It looks not good, but it's put together. The joints are so bad. I don't know how this was supposed to work. I really don't. I couldn't get it to like smush properly and then stay there. Not particularly. I'd rather just see how it goes, you know. Don't do it. I've tried a few times. Either that gets really loud, bless you, or it flubs something up. So I'm gonna try a few more times and then 15? Oh, okay. Then yeah, I can wrap this up real quick. Good morning. It is the start of day 3. I didn't get a chance to do anything yesterday on Monday, so today is Tuesday morning. It's before work, and my goal this morning before I head out is to pattern the top of the hat. The top of the hat is dry, so next I can take saran wrap and tape and try to create a fabric pattern for the slip cover that'll go over top of it. I'm hoping to create one so that it doesn't have quite so many pieces if I used just the foam pattern. It's a lot of pieces, so I'm hoping that the slip cover will be a little bit more simple, so that's going to be the goal. Oh, I need some coffee first. All right, so that is the hat completely taped. I have to get ready for work, and I will see you in a bit. Great, so now we have these half patterns. I'm not entirely sure, because this is so curved, it really doesn't lay flat very well, so I might need to cut these in half again to make them lay flat for the pattern. All right, so now we have the 4 pattern pieces. The next step would be to cut out, but it's 10 o'clock and I'm pretty tired. It's been a very long day. I might call it a night and then pick this up tomorrow morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. I didn't get a ton done yesterday, so I'm going to try and get more done today. I might end up blending these days together if I don't have enough time to really move substantially forward. And yes, I am wearing the same sweatshirt as last night because I can't be bothered. The next step is to take these pattern pieces and trace them out on the various fabrics I'm going to be using for the hat. So we are going to do that next. Let's go. To cut out the overlay fabric, I first pinned the fabric to the piece that will be the base of the overlay around the outsides and in the center, and I'll leave this pinned until I stitch them both together in the seam allowance. Then I'll pin each piece together before stitching in place. Alright, welcome back. It is Friday. I don't remember what day I worked on this last. I think it might have been Wednesday, and I finished the top of the hat, which looks pretty good. I'm fairly happy with how it's turned out. I don't really like the orange by itself, which is unfortunate because I used it in a lot of the hat design, but we'll be able to finish the hat by attaching the seam allowance to the inside and then stitching the brim and doing the same where to attach the seam allowance up to the hat and encase the foam in the brim to complete it, and then we'll just have to do some little decorations like the ribbon that goes around the edge of the hat, things like that. So that'll be okay. The dress, on the other hand, hasn't really been touched yet. With the Instagram poll between flowy and a more sleek look, the flowy look won. So the design is going to be flowy. And I made a design here that I think would have worked and been super cute if I had a bit more time, and I'm a little worried about it. So I'm debating adjusting it slightly just to be a little bit more easy, or make it a little easier so it doesn't have quite so many panels, just because it's just going to take that extra amount to sew. So I might cut out the top, see how I feel, see what time it is, and kind of feel it out about how the rest of the design goes. Next, I pinned all the bodice pieces to the orange glitter overlay and then cut it out and also along the edges in order to make them one piece. Alright, so next I'll go ahead and stitch all of the panels together for the top, both the lining and the fashion fabric. Alright, happy Saturday! I got up this morning and ran 15 miles and then had a running group event, which was super fun, but it's now noon and I've officially entered crunch time into the Halloween party tonight. So I have about 8 hours to get everything done. Hopefully it'll be fine. Next, I went ahead and tested flexible boning because I was worried that the top of the dress would have some gap in between the dress and me. And so to help prevent that, we can use a flexible boning that will contour to the body more. So I'll go ahead and put in the other side, and this boning is nice because you're actually able to sew through it. For these spaghetti straps, I decided to cut them out of the cotton so that they wouldn't be quite as stretchy. and I cut out 1-inch strips of black cotton before sewing them in half with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. After that, you can use a safety pin to turn the spaghetti straps inside out. Next, for the bodice top, we'll go ahead and put the lining and the bodice right sides together and stitch at the top. Okay, great. With the top done, it's not perfect, but it definitely, it's cute. I'm happy with it. And it's 6 o'clock, so we need to move forward. I will next cut out the skirt. I'm essentially gonna do a giant rectangle and gather it. I think that's gonna be easiest. We'll start out with the velvet, and if we have time, I'll also do the other 2 layers and then just stitch it onto the outer layer. So let's get started, or let's keep going. I had such a fun time this Halloween, and I even found this adorable baby raccoon that I watched from afar. Overall, this was not my best work. I tend to rush and make mistakes when I'm in a time crunch. However, it was fun to design my own look. With cosplay, I usually focus on accuracy over originality, so in the next few months, I want to focus on more of my own design work. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Here are my socials if you want to follow along, and I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween!